Oh, that does smell like my childhood candy.
It's more chewy than the previous one, but it's a good chewy.
Oh, that's bad.
Not all protein bars are created equal. Some pack a punch of nutrition, others, well, not so much. Today, our PartnerMD health coaches are taste testing popular protein bars and rating them on flavor, texture, ingredients, and more. Which bars are worth the bite? Let's find out.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Jamie Munson.
My name is Francisco Carreño,
My name is David Youngkins, and I'm a health coach at
PartnerMD.
If my patients would like to have a protein bar, I really only have a few sort of tricks when you go to look at your food label. Keep in mind, as my disclaimer is, these protein bars are supplements, so it's not a whole food. So we're doing the best we can when we make these choices.
quote-unquote protein bars out there might only have like 10 or 15 grams of protein in it, which isn't usually great for the average person, but not horrible, but not great. So I try to look for something at least 20 grams, 25 grams of protein in it, and with a low sugar.
A protein bar should have more protein than anything and less of the rest. But obviously you're not gonna eat just a piece of meat. That's not a protein bar. Now you wanna be a little more palatable. So there's ingredients that can enhance flavor. So I look for natural flavors if possible.
Limit your sugar alcohol. I do like these in single digits.
I prefer to see less artificial chemistry in the protein bar, if you will. For sure, I don't understand colors. When I see, if I got to see color in a protein bar, to be honest, I will ditch it.
Does it taste good? Does it make you want to eat it? That's an important thing. And so that combination of ingredients, nutrient profile, and taste really are the main things I'm looking at.
Kind protein, crunchy peanut butter.
Yeah, these look more like the classic, almost a candy bar invitation. They're sweet, they glisten. Something about foods that glisten to me, it's like fake chocolate. Always makes me question of how great this is for your health.
It's oaky. No, I'm kidding. No, it's very nutty, kind of hard, sort of grainy. Tastes like peanut butter, so it's pretty good.
Flavor-wise, it's fantastic. I start doubting if this is good. Meaning, it's too good to be true, whatever. I suspect that it's not gonna have a lot of protein.
I mean, flavor-wise, I'm gonna give it a higher rating because it tastes really good. Mentally, my assumption is this is not gonna be a solid health choice. It'd probably be something I wouldn't pick up out of the grocery store once I know all the ingredients in.
Oh my God, I was almost, I'm not guessing. Okay, so crunchy, I saw that.
So the Kind bar, it makes sense. It's got 12 grams of protein in it, which is not horrible, but it's also kind of a plant protein. So a lot of protein is coming from peanuts and soy protein, which is a complete protein, but it doesn't have as good of a sort of a nutrient, or the protein's not as available to your body, not as bioavailable as something like a whey protein might be.
Zero trans fat, gluten-free. Low glycemic index, that's probably because of the fiber. And then when my eyes goes first, I go to macros and I go straight to protein, 12 grams, so we say, okay, on the low end. Then I go to total carbohydrates and I say 17 is a number, but I see fiber 6. And something that we do in partnering with you for educating on how to choose this thing is teaching you the difference between total carbohydrates minus fiber will be net carbs. And this is something that we talk about in Wellness University and how to read labels.
The third ingredient is honey, and so anytime I see an added sugar within the first 3 ingredients, I usually put them down. If you're someone who's regulating your blood sugar, I really wouldn't advise something like this. So you've got honey and then glucose syrup. So right blood glucose, sugar levels are gonna go up.
As a protein bar, I will give them just a 5 because the protein is not that high. But as a nutritious bar, it's not the worst. It's a snack that is pretty balanced.
I would not rate this a very high bar. I think it's very sugary and very salty and lacks probably a lot of value.
I wouldn't really use it as a go-to protein bar, but it tastes pretty good.
Barebells protein bar, salty peanut.
Let's see here.
This one smells good. This almost seems dangerous because it smells like something I would get from a Valentine's candy box. Like you can feel the caramel and the nougat in there. Very melty. Sometimes things like this, before I even eat it, I don't know what it's made of. I would use this as a substitute from not eating a candy bar. But again, the heavy coating chocolate, this will melt in your hand very easily. Smells good, smells sweet.
This is gonna be my favorite. I know this is a okay. It's more chewy than the previous one, but it's a good chewy. Flavor-wise, I like it. In this one, what I will be wondering is like, where this flavor come from?
That's pretty good. A lot of chocolate to it. It's kind of got like a nougaty thing to it. Nougat. The taste is pretty good too. It's got kind of a synthetic sweetener taste to it, a little bit aftertaste, but overall, not bad. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I tend to like this brand anyway, so that makes sense.
A candy bar, like a Milky Way bar. I like caramel, I like a nougat, I love chocolate, so that's really great. I love on the front, it does say 20 grams of protein, no added sugar. Just seeing this on the shelf would make me pull it up and want to learn more.
No added sugar. That's a great. Now, naturally and artificially flavored. I knew that the flavor is like the other one was a little more natural flavors there. This one they put something artificial because probably if you take it out, it tastes like crap.
Whey protein blend in it, which is good. It's even got some collagen to it. It does have some of that sort of fake sweetener, like maltitol is one of those types of things. So again, if you have IBS or any kind of digestive issues, you probably don't want those. Some artificial flavors. So it's got, the ingredients list is a bit long, but it's probably one of the better tasting ones I've had.
You have 18 grams of carbs. At the end of the day, that's probably not a big deal. There's no added sugar in here. The sugar alcohol is in single digits, so I do like that.
But I like it. I will give it, as a protein bar, believe it or not, I will give it probably like a 7.
Think high protein, chunky peanut butter.
This one's a little bit more firm. This one's a little squishy. Has a chocolate coating. Not quite sure what the flavor is because it looks like peanut butter, but does it smell like peanut butter? It looks like there's some nuts in here.
It's okay. It's not great. A little dry, a little grainy.
And flavor-wise, it's less intense flavor, which it doesn't bother me. Protein-wise, I'm puzzled on this one. I don't know, it has, so far we have 12, 20. I'm gonna say that this has less than 20. And if it has more, I would be surprised.
A little bit of an aftertaste on that one too. That one's kind of, I just feel like I inhaled a chemical in the back of my throat with that one. So just tasting it, I wouldn't buy this.
Oh well, think. Who would have thought? 20 grams, right there, okay. At least I know that it didn't have more.
Think bar. Think twice about eating me. Well, it's low sugar, that's a good thing, and it's got 20 grams of protein, which is solid,
So this will fall in a better position than the first one because the first one has 12, but it was gluten-free, it was more natural or whatever. The second one has 20 grams, but it has some artificial stuff. This is so far the best because of that mix of no artificial stuff, it's gluten-free, which is very easy for the gut.
So no sugar, high protein. It is peanut butter, and like I said, it did not taste like peanut butter. It didn't smell like peanut butter. We are now up to double digits in sugar alcohol. So if you eat the whole bar, you may experience GI distress. I urge single digits. The protein is up there. The sodium is a little higher in this one. It's in the 200s, as the other ones are typically lower. You have a blend of protein from soy, caseinate. We got whey in here. We have different kind of syrups. Yeah, we've got a lot of oils in here.
It's just that to make it maybe palatable, they went a little bit, we're going very, very picky here, right? A little bit high in the carb.
Misfits peanut butter fudge.
I don't even know the flavor of this one.
This one smells better. Doesn't have a weird scent to it. Again, covered in chocolate, so I always caution people. Winter days easier, hot summer days probably not going to be so great. But sometimes these things are great to just keep you out of the candy store.
Not bad. The texture is pretty good. It's not too chewy or anything. interesting kind of a taste to it. I think it probably has some kind of a sweetener in there like a lot of them do. But you can definitely taste it in this one. So maybe it's stevia or something, or sucralose, but overall pretty good.
This is starting to give me the feeling that it has to have at least 20 grams, if no more, but it's too gluey. It's more difficult to get it out of the teeth and everything.
Yeah, it's very bland, lacks a little flavor. The caramel topping blends whatever nougat is in the middle of this for sure, but it has a very flat taste to it, and definitely leaving a little residue in my mouth. I have never heard of these bars before. There are so many. This is why these things can be so overwhelming. There are just too many bars out here.
Misfits, I never heard of this one before. It's a plant-based protein bar, okay. 14 grams of protein, it's okay. 1 gram of sugar.
Already the ingredient list is way too long. It looks like it's gonna be, plant-based protein bar, 14 grams of protein. I say 20, it was because of how gluey it was.
It does have a lot of contaminants in here for allergies, so I would double check that. I see a lot of oses in here, so that means sugars are in here. We already have sunflower oil in here at the top of the list.
But it's a vegan bar, so it might work for some patients or some people who are eating that in that way. That's fine. It's got pea protein to it and soy protein and fava beans kind of make up the protein. So those kinds of proteins, again, don't absorb as well usually in your body, so you may have to eat more of vegan protein to get the same amount of effect.
Yeah, you put more fiber. When you do a plant-based, normally you put more fiber, but the protein is low. I would not buy this one just because it's too low in protein and it's giving me more carbs.
But I would say the Misfit one, the flavor was not my personal cup of tea. So I think that's when you spend as much money, hopefully you like the taste. So sometimes you just might want to buy one at a time to see what you think.
GoMacro Macro Bar. Peanut butter chocolate chip.
This looks like the honeybee candy. Oh, and it's sticky. Oh my gosh, this reminds me of my childhood. Oh yeah, bendy and flexible, and how much does it stretch? Oh my word, very stretchy, very flexible, very squishy. Oh, that does smell like my childhood candy.
Okay, I know already what it is.
Yeah.
Is the RX? No. Yeah, this is dense.
This looks like bubble gum. All right. Oh, that's bad.
Very boring. The aftertaste is better though, so that must be the shininess on the outside of this bar in particular.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to swallow this, actually. Outtake show. Okay. Well, it's very hard to chew, kind of. It's kind of very sticky. Frankly, just doesn't taste that great.
It feels more artificial on the texture than on the flavor, but I'm confused because the chewiness doesn't remind you of any food. So it's kind of like too much, but as you can see, I finished it, no water. Now I'm intrigued on the ingredients, so what is this made of? I mean, for example, this one is no crunchy at all, so I guess that maybe it's kind of like eating too soft.
Oh, the macro bars everyone is talking about.
11 grams of protein, that's okay. I'm gonna look here and see how it could taste so bad.
No, peanut butter, chocolate chip, vegan, gluten-free. Wow, gluten-free, man. Kudos to the texture. You do it soft and chewy without gluten.
So the very first ingredient is organic brown rice sugar, which means the most ingredient in this little bar is nothing but sugar. So I would absolutely avoid this at all costs.
Clean label, I guess, if that's what you're looking for, I mean, you don't want to discount that. It's got mostly organic products in there, organic protein blend. Yeah, I don't love the taste. It does have 14 grams of sugar in it though, which is pretty significant for a bar.
The macros, let's go to the macros. This is not a protein bar, by the way. This is not a protein bar. This is a nutritious bar. Yes, you did it on purpose. That's 11 grams of protein. So what the heck is going on here? Now, macro bar, protein pleasure. Nope.
And then you're getting carbs of 39 grams in this. So again, if you're monitoring weight loss, if you're monitoring your blood sugar, I would definitely not recommend this card.
MetRx Super Cookie Crunch.
Guy looks like caramel ice cream cake. Icing on the top, the Oreo nougat in the middle, and fantastic chocolate on the bottom. Oh, that smells like pure sugar. Nothing but sugar. I'm gonna take a very tiny bite, being that I don't really eat sugar.
This has artificial flavors left and right, but I like it. If it's not cookies and cream, it's in the family of those flavors.
Pretty good. Got kind of the icing on top. It sort of makes you think of a dessert, or you're cheating on something, you know. I almost feel like there's not enough protein in there just from the taste. It tastes almost too much like a dessert. Okay. Oh, 32 grams of protein, wow. MetRx protein bar, meal replacement bar. It does have 32 grams of protein in it, so I was kind of wrong about the amount of protein based on the taste, so that's surprising. It is a meal replacement bar, and usually these are, as the name indicates, more like high calorie meals. Sometimes we'll use these with patients who are trying to gain weight, don't want to eat much, and maybe they just, we're trying to put some weight on them.
So this is a good example of it's like conflicted interest here. Now it's a meal replacement bar. That means that it's going to have significantly more macros of everything. It has vitamins, so it's a different category, which is great. Thank you for the trick. But let me see, the protein is 32 grams. So now we're talking about real protein. Now, 42 grams of carbohydrate with 2 of fiber. So I wonder if you increase the fiber, because now we're talking about meal replacement, and you should eat more fiber than this, right?
Before reading anything, I will tell you, if you're searching for your vitamins in a box, you're searching in the wrong place. Your vitamins or minerals are always going to be best served by breaking them down with real whole foods, which is going to be in your produce section.
And right there, my eyes go to corn syrup. We know that is not the best. Period. Canola oil, not the best. Now I'm not surprised that has all these things. Now, macro-wise, great for meal replacement, a little bit high on carbs.
So relative to the amount of protein, the calories are somewhat high. It's infused with some vitamins, synthetic vitamins, probably, things like that. There's 42 grams of carbs in it and 25 grams of sugar, with 24 grams of added sugar. So that means, half of the carbs are sugar. So that's not great. So if you want to spike your blood sugar, this is probably a good way to do it.
So you just don't want to lean toward things like this. Nothing about this is whole, and you'll see this on most of them, and this is a great point out for ingredients. Right on the back it says contains bioengineered food ingredients. So all you're having is GMOs. You want to steer away from that as much as possible. Your body wasn't built to have or consume these types of ingredients. But if you can eat whole foods, real foods more frequently, you're going to be better off for it. Yeah, so if I was going to pick anyone, I would have picked the Barebells. The taste. So taste is important because you're not going to supplement with something that you're gagging on. And then protein is a perfect number at 20 grams. So that's a solid amount of protein to get in here.
I guess if I were to rate those protein bars, I'd come out kind of where I was before. I always liked the Barebells, and that was my favorite one there too. It had the lowest sugar relative to protein, lower calorie, tasted the best. Think high protein bar, I think, had the best second best kind of nutrient profile as far as or macronutrient sort of profiles, the protein relative to the calories, things like that. Anyway, I kind of am ending where I started, I guess, in that I like a protein bar that has a good amount of protein relative to calories, low sugar, and tastes good, and doesn't have a whole lot of additives to it, hopefully. So it's hard to find those all the time. And so you're always, like I said, there are always trade-offs, and these things are no real solutions when it comes to a food-based supplement. The best thing is always food itself. But if you're going to have a food-based supplement like a protein bar, you're going to have some trade-offs. And so the question is, what do you want to trade off for that? Especially if you're trying to hit a rather ambitious protein goal, 150, 200 grams a day or something. You almost need to get some protein bars or shakes in to hit those numbers. And so these kinds of questions become important there. So.
All right, that's a wrap on our protein bar taste test. Got a favorite bar we should try next time? Drop it in the comments below. And if you're working on your nutrition or fitness goals, don't forget, our health coaches at PartnerMD are here to help. Hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.